I'm growing a bit of garlic, collard greens, peas, narchies, mandarins, lemons. This is our pomegranate tree. It's a bit bare for this season. We've got more nasturtiums, and these are the broad beans doing well. Flowers are quite pretty. They've just started to set fruit. And this is a rosemary, more kale, obviously, the Russian red kale, the dinosaur kale, the hugest lemon I've ever seen. It's like a double one. I don't know what happened there. And then we start getting to the peppers. They're doing well. This is the California red, but at the moment it's still yellow, so I think it's got a ways to go to turn red. We'll just stay there, no worries. Jalapeno peppers, which is great. This is the garden that I've redesigned after 30 years, so it's a work in progress. I'd love you to follow the journey with me by liking and subscribing. These are really, really pretty kale leaves. I only have a few of these plants, unfortunately. I'm not sure of the name of it, the name of the variety. So yeah, this that looks like a fern is actually asparagus that I propagated from seed. I certainly hope it's the weather causing it to die down a bit. The roots were very healthy. They only usually start making spears after 2 years, and it's best to leave it for the first while, let the rootstock first get very strong, and then only harvesting after that, and that will give you asparagus for 20 to 30, 40 years if you care for it. So some more nice kale. These are kohlrabis. Look how the roots are getting fed. So as you can see, you can start a garden even though you're not perfectly ready. Just start putting stuff in, just start planting. Don't worry about much. Yeah, once again, I've told you on previous videos, we don't allow the side shoots to develop for the tomatoes until they've started making some flowers. These are Roma tomatoes, very precious paste tomatoes, so I'm really pampering them, making sure they don't get moldy. So let's go up to the top here. So in the same fashion as using every little bit of space and opportunity, this is a dragon fruit. I've got it as a cutting through the post from Living Seeds, and it grew. I actually divided it. Here's another one. So soon we'll be doing very well. There was an empty space. I've got passion fruit in there, and little passion fruits that I'll transplant. That seems to be a pepper. Yes, it seems to be a pepper if I look at the flower. And a Swiss charge is going up there. This is thyme. I've covered some of the roots up, or some of the stalks up, so that it will start rooting under the moist soil. This is a pot with carrots. These are yellow carrots, and then in this pot I have multicolored, so it's the purple ones and everything, and you can see from the stems that they're different colors, different varieties. They're not all the same green. This is oregano. So when we make pizza or something, I just take the top part, or I just pull leaves off individually. I've put this all over, and I'm going to use it as a ground cover. Then something that's nice, I've put a video before, but just look at this lovely purple cauliflower. I'm very happy with that. We've taken ordinary crates, as you can see here, and I've got potatoes into them, and they seem to be quite fine. Then we have ordinary cauliflower, We have broccoli, strawberries, and these are brinjals. Well, since where I am it's winter, I doubt that they'll amount to much. They are flowering, but if they don't do well, I'll just cut them back and overwinter them, and then I'll have strong stock for later. This is lemongrass. I've cut it back many times. Good for Asian dishes. You pour boiling water over it, you can make quite a good tea with it. It's very aromatic. I need to transplant it and divide the roots. It's just not in the right place. Then over here I have basil. This was a pot of basil I bought at the supermarket, and I divided. I think I've got like about 30 plants. It was the purple basil, which is having the last bit there, and then the green one. So when your basil goes to seed, just do that and throw it on the ground, and the next season you'll have plants again. And it's also very nice for pollinators, it attracts them. So this is a moringa tree. I'm keeping that there for the buds. I cut back most of the moringa quite severely. As you can see, it's making new buds all over, and even up at the top there. I don't know if you can see. So I'll just show you on a smaller one. I cut it back because it was causing too much shade for this other bed. But here's the new growth coming out, which will make it very much easier to harvest when it's not that tall. So there are a few avocado trees. So yeah guys, just start planting, just put things in. You don't need the perfect space, you don't need to wait for anything. Put in pots, put in containers, shopping bags, IKEA bags. All you need is fertilizer. You can even use a fertilizer bag. So these are little cherry tomatoes. Strung them up on the palm tree, as you can see. Garlic is at the back there. This is Egyptian walking onion. I've only purchased 6 of them. I'm waiting for them to start multiplying. And then once again, as I said, as we go along in the garden, we remove something that we don't want before it becomes a problem to us. Green peppers are doing well. Other chilies are doing well, which is great because I make pickles in my can. So getting all your supplies from your own garden is amazing. These are green onions. I think they're sort of just about spent. So if you see the dirty pool in some of my shots, the pool pump is broken, so that still needs to be fixed. This poor tomato plant is amazing. It gave me tons and tons of little tomatoes, so much so that I couldn't use it up in all the salad. So what I did is I popped them in freezer bags, froze them, and then made pizza sauce of them. So it looks like either the cold or disease has got this one, so I'll probably just see how far I can let them hang on the vine and ripen, and then I'll harvest them. These are collard greens. We have a local tire shop that replaces the car tires, and they let us fetch as many as we want. So we just put some compost in it and we grow in it. As I said, we'll cut back the brinjals, the eggplant, and just overwinter it. And hopefully the fact that I've planted collard greens in between will sort of keep the roots warmer. The black ties in any case keep it warm. It's been lined, so we have no toxic bleaching. And the dinosaur kale, as you see, I've harvested extensively over there. Yeah. So let's go around the other way. Over here we have a huge guavadilla vine. It's similar to a passion fruit, but makes huge yellow fruit. And I usually just harvest them, scoop them out and freeze them for when I need them. This little bucket has got peanuts in, so we'll see how they do. It's the big variety, ones with the big seeds. These tomatoes are just, sorry, my shadow's in the way. These tomatoes are ones that just came up, they're volunteer plants. And as I said, there's another oregano, I just use it for ground cover. So over here we have Malabar spinach, we have a different type of kale, it's pretty. I've harvested quite a few cabbages already, but these are growing nicely. The heads are still loose, but they're coming on. Probably harvest that one, it doesn't look too happy there. And these are purple onions. So of course if you cut the tops of the green of the onion, it causes it to make more layers, and you can dehydrate it and use it to flavor your food. As you see, there's lots of weeding to be done, and the only way I do it is when I come and do an inspection of the garden, and the next day there's just as many. As you can see, I've pulled out before. I just leave them to compost in place. So more peppers are growing here. Over here we have habanero peppers. Something's gotten into that one, but I'll harvest this one. Kale plant, Chamelia kale. The birds are eating this, but as you can see, huge leaves, and I have big hands. So potato plants, potatoes. I've just thrown potatoes in here and just covered them up. I'm waiting for them to start developing, and then I'll put them in another position. As you can see, there they are. They're not ready yet, so I don't water them too much. Just waiting for them to make little eyes. Potatoes. More potatoes coming out there. So one potato would give you about 6 to 8 potatoes. It depends on the variety. Tomatoes, as you see, we cut back and we keep the stalk clear and we wait for the flowers. So as I'm busy redesigning the garden, I had to make a plan for all the waste. So I made a compost heap, throwing the stuff in there, kitchen waste, everything. And I've even planted a few tomatoes in some of the containers, as you can see. So that seems to be working quite well. Over here we have tomatoes. I can't wait for them to finish so that I can tidy it up. More potatoes. Parsley. As you can see, the things are lined. A lot of interplanting, no dedicated space for specific plants. This is beetroot, and currently I'm using it a lot for salad greens. And then once they're a bit bigger, I'll start pulling out the little bits of beetroot. This is purple sprouting broccoli, also just planted in a tote. So not too much planning, just throwing it in. As you can see, this is a lovely orange geranium. Smells like that. I wish you could smell. Unfortunately, the video won't give you the idea. The pineapple tops, you just pop them in water, they grow, and then you plant them in the ground and they develop pineapples eventually. The only thing is they're very needy as far as nutrition goes. So if you don't feed them, you're going to get tiny little pineapples which will hardly be worth your while. There's some aloe vera. Berries. So once again, as I said before, you just put the sticks on the ground and they'll readily root after a while. And this is the rose geranium. A few leaves in a glass of milk and a very good promoting seed. So yeah, this tree is a huge problem. I'll have to remove it. It's causing too much shade in my garden. So I'd love to keep you updated. As you can see, I'm hacking out plants, removing shade, producing things. It's a journey. I'd love you to join me. So if this was interesting, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.